District and the town of Valhalla.
James Weatherford, candidate for County Council District 4, which is basically Mackay of Highway 130 all the way from the Mackay bypass down to and including Leilani Estates, Wiki, back around Hohoawa, and back up to Point.
I'm Britt. I'm running for State House District 3, and it goes from Mahala and Kauhu up through Upper Puna and into High Street and down to Orchid Land, including Chaos. So it's kind of a diverse, broad area.
So this is your time to ask the burning questions of your candidates so that you make good choices. August 11th is the primary. Thursday is the last day to register. If you are not registered, go back to that corner and there's plenty of forms there. Now is your time to ask questions, and I think, shall we, do you want to do just one at a time, or do you guys want to do a free-for-all, like questions for the particular candidate? You guys have a preference? Free-for-all? Okay, so let's just do that. Who wants to go through the starting gate?
I have a question I want to start out for all candidates here. Since you're running for state senate and all that, you've been seeing, of course, Brittany anyway. Anyway, my question is this. This is a Hunter's Forum question. I'd like to know how each of you would stand as representatives from the Big Island. How would you handle our situation where what we're having right now is existing, the aerial killing, massacre, the fencing area, although we're gatherers and hunters, how will each one of you represent us at the state senate, at the Capitol? This is my main concern, because we have...
Okay, anybody that's carrying around, if you want to get to your council district table, there is council district numbers on each of the tables. If you can go there, if we can get all the senators, mayors, and stuff to pick a table, we're going to rotate the senators and mayors at different times. Okay?
I know you back there.
All I'm asking is, how would each and every one of you who's running for the office would represent the people of Hawaii? We are the people, we are the taxpayers. We're having right now very, very poor support in the legislature and in the Senate. How will each one of you represent the people? Even though we're hunters and gatherers, how would you treat us down there? Brittany, you can go first. Go ahead.
Thank you. And you're right. It is something we've been familiar with based on the stuff that's been coming before the council. In fact, I also remember you from the Ka'u meeting with the Ka'u Forest Reserve fencing proposal. Now, you got to also realize I represent an area with strong conservationists as well. I do not believe that it has to be one or the other. I do think we can find the middle ground. And I would like to bring those people back to the table to find consensus on how to do things. I do believe we need to protect our watersheds. I do believe we need to protect our native species. But I also believe we need to keep supporting sustainable hunting and gathering rights. We need to make sure we are providing access to public lands. I am not completely convinced that an entire fencing of an area is the way to go. Maybe perhaps island fencing in order to protect certain areas. I am concerned about limiting the access. Once it's fenced off, how are we then going to reintroduce the public? So I think there needs to be more cooperation with the community, how to manage their resources. And the one thing I will say on both the conservationist and the hunter side, hunter-gatherer side, is that DLNR has failed in their duty to manage the land that they have now. So where do we take that? How do we move it forward? I don't have the answer. I think you guys on both sides have the answer. And I think part of it is to start fresh. I know there's been some historical baggage on both sides. I want to start fresh. I have been trying to work with safari.org, which is a Hunters for Conservation on the mainland, trying to find out if there's a Hawaii chapter. They stopped responding to me last April or so. I'd like to redo that because in many states, hunters are the conservationists. They understand that their land has to be protected and maintained in order to continue with the practice. So how can we move from where we are now to where we can go and what the ideal is? I don't have that answer, but I promise that I will sit down and talk to you and listen to your ideas because I think you guys are the solution.
Well, Brenda,
Brittany.
What you said right now, that the hunters are conservation. You got that right, because we as hunters, we respect the forest, we need the forest. We don't destroy the forest, nor does anybody else. If anything is men destroy, not animals. I appreciate your answer, thank you very much. And I believe in what you said. Two sides gotta get together and make it. I think you can work out on both ends, not just one take and the other don't take.
And let me make a comment, because this is on both ends, but since this is a hunter forum, I'll focus on this one last comment. We have to be careful of the behaviors of a few reflecting on the behaviors of all. And what I mean by that is we have some hunters that go in with machetes and just cut everything as they're walking through, and it may be damaging plants that may be native. So can we work out a procedure where pathways are created to protect some of the native species? There's also been stories that I hear from the conservationists where fencing does take place with a sign specifically stating what's being protected. They come back later, those plants are ripped out with the roots hanging on the fence. Those kinds of actions don't help the situation. So how can we work together to make sure we're on the same path and the tension and historical battle, again, clean slate, get the corrective behaviors in place to make sure that just the few hunters aren't ruining it for everyone else. Because that's what happens. You start getting limited when the behaviors of a few ruin it for the many.
Well, this is why as a veteran hunter and a long-time hunter, I believe in a situation where we as hunters have to patrol our own area where we hunt and report any damage or anybody. Because you don't judge, you don't spoil, a rotten apple is in a bag, you don't penalize everybody, you take out that rotten apple. If you have weeds in your garden, you pull out the weeds. I agree with that, I go for that punish the ones that should be punished, but don't punish all. I believe in that.
I want to just remind folks, when you ask your questions, you guys, just a reminder, and I forgot the time, I'm going to be timing you.
Oh, sorry.
2 minutes to answer a question.
Thank you, Randy.
If you have a follow-up question after that, they will have a 1-minute follow-up time. So James, if you would like to address the question.
Okay. First office I'm running for is the county council. There are two pieces of legislation that have recently gone through there, one for Wildlife Management Commission and one regarding aerial hunting. I think the one regarding aerial hunting is a pretty bold move, really, and because it's really pushing the concept of home rule. I support both of those pieces of legislation. I look forward to, on the council, helping find someone from my district to get the mayor to appoint a hunter to put on that management commission. The county does not have jurisdiction over DLNR land, but certainly in terms of these two initiatives here, I fully support them. And by the way, a while ago when they said they had smoked meat over there, I went over and I didn't see it, and I was very glad to find it. Good sausage. Okay. I'm very fond of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's a very good question. I have a lot of the same feelings that Brittany has. I feel that there's no one answer that's all one side or all the other. It can't be that. Whenever you have a difficult controversy, it's because there's valid points on both sides of the issue. Yes, we need to preserve our native ecosystem, and yes, we need to protect the rights of hunters and gatherers. So, I don't see any choice but to find a compromise. I'll be honest, this is not one of the issues that I'm expert on. There's a few issues I feel I know about, and there's a few issues that I'll need to be educated on. And Tony, I'm sorry I forgot his last name, has been giving me some information on these hunters issues, and I realized I was very ignorant on it. You know, I feel a strong need to protect native ecosystems, but I don't know that DLNR has been doing it right. And for example, the aerial hunting, I totally oppose that. It seems like it's doing more harm than good. I also think we need a game management commission, which we don't have, so we need to address your needs. So while I'm not 100% on your side, and you will have my ear, I will be someone you can talk to and educate on this subject. I don't have a closed mind, I don't have a preset decision on this. I feel that both sides are important. We've got to give you guys your rights and your access, and we also have to protect native ecosystems.
Aerial hunting is done in Alaska. In Alaska, they had so many wolves eating the caribou, eating the moose, that they had to be taken out. Alaska is how big compared to our beautiful islands. This island's unique. We have to have a game management area, someone that can be accountable for the people ruining the beautiful environment that they're hunting in. Maybe that could be added to DLNR. No, the job is not getting done. Aerial hunting is not the way on our islands. Both sides should come together, but my theory and what I would vote for is there would be strict penalties for people who ruin the environment and don't bring it back to the natural way it was, and the hunters could be volunteer helpers to watch the native lands.